All right, welcome to season one, episode four of Tug and Zack with Orange and Black. What's it called again?
You blew it.
Orange and Black with Tug and Zack.
There
All
you
right, there we go. Okay, I'll get that figured out. Anyway, we got a nice show in store for you today. We'll be recapping the last few games, taking a look at where their current standing situation is and what their odds for the playoffs are, all those kind of things to make sure that you know exactly where they stand at this point in the season with less than 10 games left. We're also going to talk about some of the prospects, what's going on with Porter Martone and Riley Thompson. And finally, we're going to take a look back at this day in Flyers history, March 30th, 1974. So we're going to take a look back and see what happened on that day. Pack break wise, we're going to be opening Holiday Edition Series 1 Upper Deck Hockey 2025-26. Really was a Canada exclusive, but it matriculated its way down into the United States, and we were able to secure one at Sal's in Belmar, New Jersey. So we're going to see if we can get a Demidov or two from that box or maybe a couple Flyers. So anyway, that's what's in store for episode four. Let it begin. So the first thing I think we should cover is the last couple games because a lot has happened and a lot of good developments. Finally, some of these other teams that we're chasing are starting to leak oil and the wheels are starting to come off and we're putting the pressure on them, baby. Talk to me.
Yeah, man. I mean, just like on our end, with things that we can control, just the fact we're able to whoop up on the Blackhawks. I feel like the Flyers in the past couple of years, they'd have these games where they should win. And they're playing bad teams that are struggling and they just lay an egg. But the Blackhawks were exactly in that position and we were able to take care of business and put a five spot on them,
Yeah.
right? And then to continue the momentum with the Red Wings game, Owen Tippett with the hat trick was awesome. I don't remember the last time they scored five goals in two straight games. Like we'd have to like
Yeah.
look at that,
We're peaking at the right time.
Yep, they're getting hot right now, and every game is, game seven at this point in the season. And
Yeah.
just like Travis Konechny said, we're putting pressure on the teams ahead of us, and the Red Wings are definitely one of them.
They're feeling it,
Oh
baby.
yeah.
Yeah, we got two more against them, plus a game in hand. That's definitely one of the teams that we'll be able to chase down easier than others. You did mention one thing about Tippett's hat trick, and I think we saw a stat about that hat trick, which is pretty interesting.
Both the Flyers and the Phantoms were able to score hat tricks last night. That was super cool. And obviously, there's a big difference between Owen Tippett and Boris Kachuk, but still, those two names are now intertwined in Flyers history forevermore.
That's right. Very cool. So huge win last night. Like we mentioned, really putting pressure on those teams ahead of us. A couple of which also lost yesterday. I think Ottawa lost and the Penguins lost.
Penguins need to lose. Like,
Yeah.
dude, they have no business like still competing.
Anything else to talk about as far as the Red Wings game?
I think Denver Barkey had a really good game. He's been so consistent. That Luke Glendening and Sean Couturier pair are just like
Yeah.
really good. I personally am missing Grabenkin on that third line, but if Grabenkin's hurt and we need an extra winger, maybe we can call up one Porter
All
Martone.
right, now you're jumping to our prospect talk and big developments on that front.
Yeah, Michigan State played Wisconsin. It was a crazy game. I think Wisconsin went up 1-0. Michigan State came roaring back and they're up 3-1 with 5 minutes left. And then within 24 seconds, Wisconsin ties it up. It goes to overtime. And then 42 seconds into overtime, the captain for Wisconsin throws this muffin from the point, like literally the corner of the defensive zone, throws one on net and like the goalie couldn't see it. He was screened by his own guy, and it goes like right under his arm, and he was still up. And it is probably the weakest goal I've ever seen. But Wisconsin, with that goal, proceed to the Frozen Four.
That poor goalie dad.
Oh, I know. Well, guess what? That goalie was a Hobie Baker finalist over Porter Martone.
Oh,
So
the heck with him, man. Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Trey Augustine. So hold that L. Michigan State is now eliminated.
Which, truth be told, you were kind of pulling for,
Yes.
whereas I wanted Martone to go and be like the MVP of the Frozen Four and win a national championship and come to Philly in glory. You were like, the heck with that. The sooner they lose, the sooner he comes, and the sooner we have that boost.
The Flyers desperately need someone like Porter
Yeah.
Martone, and to get that boost late in the season, I want him there for the Stars game right now.
No shot. Get the heck
Tonight,
out of here.
yeah.
This guy. Speaking of that game tonight, Porter Martone aside, another huge Tilly. Every game, like you said earlier, is like a game seven this time of year because of where we're at in the standings and trying to chase these teams down. But I will say this, if we can find a way to get in, we will already be in playoff mode. We'll already have been going through all these game sevens leading into the playoffs. I think whoever shows up in that first round is in for a world of hurt.
Speaking of her, Denver Barkey and
Yeah.
Konechny and even like Couture, they're all playing through so many injuries, so many Warriors on that team. Sanheim takes a shot off the knee
Yeah.
last night. We are barely making it to the finish line, you know? So I'm scared of what happens after the finish line, you know?
Yeah, and that's where
Um,
Martone can really pay big dividends. And another name that we haven't mentioned, who we thought was out of the equation this year, is starting to look a little more imminent. Tyson Forster.
yeah, I
He's
guess he was
he
skating,
sure was
right?
last week, yeah.
I don't know what his timetable looks like.
It's not imminent, Tocchet said, but it's not second round of the playoffs
Mhm.
either. I think he probably gets back before the end of the regular season at this point, which would be
Wow.
amazing. What a boost.
That would be sweet. If we were able to get Martone and Forster, like that would
Mm.
definitely help us out and definitely provide some more of that scoring consistently. Hopefully, it would help with the power play as well. Martone's a net front guy, and Forster is a good trigger man that you could have on the power play on like maybe the left wall, like funneling pucks in on net, looking for a rebound. I think Forster can really help out there if he's healthy.
All right, so here's hoping for a big win tonight. I know the Stars are a really good team. They played yesterday as well, which is a
Mm.
good thing. So both teams are playing back-to-backs. Both teams are coming off road games. Stars were in Pittsburgh helping us out yesterday, doing us a favor. So I almost feel bad crushing them tonight, but that's the plan.
When we played the Stars earlier in the season, I think it was a second half of a back to back for us, and we were playing in Dallas,
Um,
and we were just so like shot. I like the fact that Dallas played last night as well as us. I like the fact that we're home and they're away,
yeah.
but the stars are so good. Miko Rantanen and Wyatt Johnston and Jason Robertson, they have so much firepower.
Let's talk about Miko
Um,
Rantanen for a second, because my question is your mother going to have any mixed emotions tonight, considering that her PC, for
my
those of you who don't know, PC stands for personal computer, or no, actually, in this case, it stands for personal collection.
Yes.
Okay.
My mom loves to collect Miko Rantanen cards. I remember I opened this blaster box of Allure and I had my mom on FaceTime as I was opening it. And I opened this Miko Rantanen like red glitter type card. And she's like, wow, that's pretty. And so when I came home like that day or the next day, I gave it to her.
So it's his fault.
It is my fault. So ever since then, she's been collecting Miko Rantanen cards and she has like a nice little diorama of all the different cards. Will she even watch tonight? Like she's not really
She might
excited.
go to the game with you, bud. I mean, there's a chance if mom finds out Miko's in town.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I think we'll go tonight. And I mean, nah, Thomas, he can get the, weekday game. You know what I'm saying?
I'll make it up to him. I'll bring him down to DC Tuesday and we'll go
Oh,
and play
that'd be cool. Can you pick me up on the way?
if you're willing to miss your Bible study.
Okay.
Priorities. All right, so now that we've covered the games just passed and the game coming up, let's talk about those prospects again. We touched on Porter Martone. Is there anybody else that's on the radar right now?
Yeah, I mean, Boris Kachuk has the hat trick last night, but he's like 27, I think. He's not exactly a prospect, right?
Yeah,
But last night was nice. Riley Thompson, he was just signed out of Ohio State. I think he's like a, I know.
I won't hold that against him.
Yeah, we're Penn State guys, we don't like Ohio State, I guess.
Don't like is an understatement. Abhor.
So Riley Thompson is a pretty big, beefy center. He had a solid year there. And last night, he got his first point on the first Boris Kachuk goal.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool, having your first point in your first game. And then on top of Riley Thompson, David Yurchek had two assists last night. He's been looking good down there. And I'm hoping we can maybe see him or Bonk by the end of the season.
I'd be surprised if we don't, only because we don't have much depth as far as defense goes. You know, after you get past those top six, you start talking about the Noah Juulsens of the world. You really could use a
Mm,
Bonk, Juracek,
hmm.
who once again we acquired for Bobby Brink. So it would be nice if he could contribute this year because I know Brink would have.
Yeah.
Not that I'm bitter.
No.
Well, listen, I think we've covered the prospects. We've talked about some of these games. Do you want to take a look at the standings now, or do you want to come back after the game tonight
Mm.
and take a look at where we stand after the Stars game?
We could do like a before and after,
Okay.
maybe. Like as of
That's a good idea.
10
Yeah.
a.m. on Sunday, here's where we are. Here's our percentage points. And then as of after the game, here's our percentage points. Hopefully we jump from 18.5 to like 24%.
When he says 18.5, he's not just pulling that out of the air. He's actually looking at moneypuck.com, where you see the current percentages for the Flyers to make the playoffs. And you see right there, 18.5%. You see some of the other teams ahead of them and what their percentages are. So we're looking at 18.5. The last time we looked at moneypuck.com together, it was a lower number.
Yeah, I think it was at like 1% earlier
Yeah.
and then 5% and then 10%. And then we lost the game and went back to 5%. Like, I don't know what they use to calculate these numbers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't consider things like momentum and stuff like that, right? Every single team that we're competing for a spot is like above 50%.
Yeah.
And we're still at 18.5%. But I'm telling you, there's a chance.
Not only do we have a chance, but when you move over to the right on this chart and you see the chance to win the Stanley Cup, it has doubled since the last time we looked at this. It went from zero
Exactly.
point 0.2 to zero point 0.4. So we've doubled. If we keep doubling each time we look at this, at some point, it eventually get to 100%, right? Isn't that how math works?
Maybe.
We'll see. But right now, feeling good. And I'm
Yeah.
actually feeling really good about tonight's game.
I'm feeling really good about tonight's game because I'm still holding out hope for Porter Martone.
No
Um,
shot. What a nut. Okay, so now we're at the point where we look back in Flyers history. We're going to take a look all the way back to 1974, the year that your mother was born, March 30th, 1974. So she was like almost zygote phase, still very early in her journey. A very monumental thing happened. And what it was Bernie Perrant broke the all-time wins record for goaltenders that year with his 45th victory. That record had stood since 1952, Terry Shawchuk. It was against the Boston Bruins. And there's a couple reasons why that's significant. Not only had this record stood since 1952, but the Flyers had gone 27 games against Boston without a win. Oh, 23 and 4. And then here they were. They beat the Bruins 5-3, shattering that awful streak, breaking that long-standing record, and establishing a record that would stand for 33 years. So up until the shootout, you'd end up with seven, eight, maybe nine ties a season. So it was hard to rack up a ton of wins as a goalie. But once a shootout came into play, 2005, 2006 season, a year later, Bernie's record fell. And I won't mention to whom because I'm not a big fan of him or the team he did it with. But it really is Fugazi because at that point, there was no ties. So in my mind, the record will always be Bernie Perrant. And what's really neat is 50 days after they finally beat the Bruins on March 30th, they beat the Bruins again in Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Flyers are going to win the Stanley Cup! Bernie Perrant is the winner of the Conn Smythe Trophy as the most valuable player in all of the Stanley Cup playoffs, and he was indeed great.
Any other thoughts on Bernie and that record as a goalie?
I remember you used to tell me that the best ability was availability, and I think Bernie Perrant definitely exhibited that, and especially that season. So,
I know Bobby Taylor was getting bored a lot during that season. He was a backup
oh,
goalie and
backup.
he didn't see a lot of action.
Honestly, that's kind of sweet though. Like, imagine being a backup quarterback or a backup goalie, and the other guy's just really good, and you still get to make millions. I doubt they made millions back
Oh,
then.
no.
Nowadays, it seems like a pretty sweet gig.
All right. So, any other thoughts on that record?
No.
Okay. So today we're going to be opening this Series 1 Holiday Edition. This is like a Canada exclusive during the holidays. And some of these boxes have filtered down into the States. Very hard to come by, but we were able to snag a pack at Sal's Sports Cards in Belmar, New Jersey. So we're going to be opening, these are 12 packs, only 4 cards a pack. So this is going to go fast, but it'll be myself, Zach, and a cameo by Thomas. Ripping today, hoping for a Demidov. And of course, any Flyers related cards are fun as well. So without any further ado, let's open. Okay. Here we go. And the insert is Matt Boldy Bustle. So each pack's going to have 3 base and 1 insert. And we're hoping for a couple young guns in here and a Dazzler. And the Holiday Dazzlers in particular are pretty cool. So we're hoping for a Demidov Dazzler, maybe some Flyers stuff. But there we go. Pack number 1. All right, pack number 2. We got a Michael Kesselring. Leo Carlson, and the insert is a Jack Eichel, goal-oriented, so nothing much to see there. Darren Radish. Tracking Systems, Dustin Wolf. So far, Wolf is the key word for these packs that we've been getting. Miro Heiskanen and Jason Dickinson. All right. What do we got here as the insert? Ugh. Sean Monahan compositions. Okay, so nothing.
All right, this is Zach opening his first pack. All right. Ooh, Jamie Drysdale.
Right.
Look at him, beauty.
Flyers hit.
Compadres of Aho and Svechnikov. A Pavel Minchikov, not Minchkov, Minchikov.
Huh.
Ducks card, and then Matt Coronado. Yuri Kulik. Kiefer Sherwood. Eric Carlson, Cub Quest. Woof. Elias Lindholm. Ooh, Ivan Demidov.
No way.
Christmas Dazzle.
Yes.
Wow.
There we go, baby.
Wow, that's a winner. Look at that, baby. Wow. Oh, baby, look at that.
Glorious.
Oh, just kidding. And I'll put that there. And then you can open the rest, Tom. Yeah, baby. Woo-hoo-hoo. Compositions, Wolf.
Ugh.
Sizzle reel.
Who's that?
Pasternak.
Pasta.
All right, what we got here?
Young Guns.
Owen Sillinger?
Ah,
Sam Reinhart.
yeah. Come on, Tom. One more young gun, would you? Ugh.
Ah,
Thank God for that one pack. Salvage the box. Good job, Zach.
Best cards right here. Got the Jamie Drysdale Holiday Edition and the Ivan Demidov Holiday Dazzler.
All right, gang. Well, we'll be back in a couple hours and let you know how things turned out tonight. But in the meantime, go Flyers.
Go Flyers.
Well, gang, as we mentioned earlier in the show, we thought we had a good chance of going to the game tonight, and it turns out we did. We were able to get 3 tickets. So Zach, Thomas, and I were in attendance for this huge, huge W against the Dallas Stars, one of the real front runners out there for the Cup, but we just beat them, and we beat them in exciting fashion. Talk to me.
Yeah, man. It's one of those Rick Tocchet hockey games,
Yeah.
very low event, intense, defensive styled hockey. You know, one mistake will kill you. Really a war of attrition because both teams played the night before and were running on fumes in the third period, and we were able to outlast them at home and in front of Porter Martone.
Yeah, how
And,
cool was that?
And it broke my personal streak of like 10 losses this year. So
It was so nice not to hear Coldplay Fix You on the way home. That was kind of becoming a tradition that we wanted to break, and we were able to do that tonight. Thanks to the redemption story of Trevor Zegras, who drew a penalty, the most unfortunate penalty at the end of that game, where his stick just somehow found this little tiny opening in a skate and just went in there and wouldn't come out. And next thing you know, we got to fight off a penalty in the last 2.5 minutes of a 1-1 game. But we did it.
this team is special and they believe in each other, and they believed in each other when no one else believed in them.
That's right.
And,
Except us.
What? Vladar and Zegras and Konechny kept reiterating that they have a lot of belief in themselves in that locker room, and I think everyone was like, yeah, right. You know, like, prove it. And they've been proving it. I'm really expecting this Flyers team to take the heart of the city like they haven't been able to do for a while. It's an exciting time to be a Flyers fan, for sure.
Now, before we wrap up, I just want to get your take what it was like the moment Zegras scored in overtime. Tell me about what was going through your mind. Definitely went nuts, as you can hear and see.
Zegras kind of takes it up alone and gets like a really weird shot. And from our angle, it looked like it hit the outside of the net because we were like
Really?
right above on the corner from where he scored, right?
Yeah.
Which you probably are about to show the video of right now. I couldn't tell whether it was on the inside or outside of the net. I think I saw it like drop in the net. And then I was like, oh my God, They did it. Zegers did it. And he will forever be in my heart because he broke my awful losing streak. He's everything that the Flyers needed. He's given so much to this team in terms of his play, in terms of his presence, just his attitude towards things. And for him to bury it tonight, it was just his season and his comeback story all in a nutshell with Trevor Zegers scoring that game winner, and was happy to be there for it.
Sure. So awesome. Just so well timed when you think about the impact on our chances for the playoffs. We kind of left the screen up that we were looking at earlier in the podcast as far as the chances of making the playoffs. We're going to share a screen here and we're going to refresh the page and see. It was at 18.5%. Now we want to see where it's at now. We're going to hit refresh, looking at that 18.5%. And let's see what we get to.
I went down.
What?
It went
Well, wait a second. How, wait, let me hit that refresh again. How in the world did it go down? We got 2 points. What in the world happened? Did like half the team end up injured or something? We don't know it. Did the team bus break down?
Are we gonna have to cut that out?
I don't know. I don't trust this moneypuck.com anymore. So anyway, let's go look at the standings here. Can't believe that happened. All right. Wow. Tortorella just got hired. That's kind of crazy. All right. Standings. So it wasn't a dream. We are now tied with Ottawa and Detroit. And we are 2 points back of Columbus, but with a game in hand, we are, forget 17.5%. Give me a break. 100% chance. We're going to the playoffs, baby. We're a team of destiny, and we're going to crush whoever shows up in the first round to play us. Mark my words.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if it would be the Lightning or Hurricanes, maybe.
It's been so long since we made the playoffs. I don't know how it works anymore. I'm telling you right now, we're going to enter the playoffs like a buzzsaw. It will be hard to make it through that entire gauntlet, but I'm telling you right now, the first round, we're going to be a buzzsaw and we're going to crush.
I don't want you to jinx it.
No, it's unjinxable. I'm telling you, it's a matter of fact.
Okay.
All right. You heard it here first, people.
All right. Also, we took a lot of awesome pictures tonight, and
Yes.
we're going to insert them here now.
Yes, lots of cool pictures. There's a
Um,
shot of the boys in front of this big X with like Trevor Zegras' face and the final score of the game. And then we got a shot with
Philly sports guy.
the Philly sports guy, which was really fun.
Trevor Zegras in the pro shop.
That's
It
right.
wasn't actually him. It was just like a picture of him.
Yes.
You know, we were searching for Porter Martone all over the
We
place.
sure were. I went to great lengths to try to find them, and
He was right above us, though.
That's right.
You know, we were like 20 feet away from him north. Yes.
we
Or
called to him.
Porter. Yeah. I was disappointed that they didn't show him.
My wife said they did show him during the telecast. They did not show him in the arena, probably because they didn't want him to get mobbed. We saw online what he was wearing. He was wearing like a tan jacket and a black hat. So we were ready. We knew what we were looking for, but didn't happen.
The Flyers are undefeated in the Porter Martone.
That's right. Since he signed with the Flyers, since he's officially a member of the team, we have never lost.
Yep. Never lost.
Never.
Do you know what that's from?
No.
Okay. I'll email you.
All right. Good deal. All right, my man. Well, you got a long ride back to Delaware tonight, so I'm going to let you go. But thanks so much for a great weekend of hockey. It was just an awesome weekend. So, really grateful for that and for the big wins, and looking forward to a big week. Martone's debut. We have a back-to-back at the end of the week with the Islanders on the back end, and that's going to be tough. But this team will find a way.
Amen. All right.
Amen. All right, gang. Have a great one. Go Flyers. All the way, man. I'm telling you. 100% going to the playoffs, and we're going to wipe out whoever shows up. First round.
I like the sound of that.
All right, man. All right. Thanks for joining us for Orange and Black with Tug and Zach. All right. Bye-bye.